thing I'm doing on YouTube. Here I am going to post recipes that I am cooking in my kitchen. I have had to make a change in my diet over the last 9-10 months in accordance with my Hashimoto's disease, and I've had to change the way I cook to suit what's best for my body. I have found that eating this way has made such a big difference to my body and how I feel on a daily basis. I am by no means a health practitioner. I am just sharing with you what works for me in my case. It is in accordance with treatment with my physician, and he gave me a food list and told me the things that I needed to stay away from, which was grain and gluten and soy and sugar. And I've just had to bite the bullet, as they say, and make the changes. I need to admit that it has made a significant change in how my body feels on a regular basis, on a daily basis. If I venture out and cheat on the no grain, no soy, no gluten, no sugar, I feel the after effects almost immediately. And in my opinion, suffering through those things anymore is not worth it. It really just isn't. I went through years of not feeling good and not understanding why I wasn't feeling good. And now that I know, even though it's difficult, I would rather stay away from the things that are inflammatory to my body. And what I have found is this new eating lifestyle falls in line with something along the lines of keto and keto-ball. So all my recipes and the products that I find are in line with that. Today we're cooking, or baking rather, an artichoke. Now, I didn't know much about an artichoke prior to cooking together with my husband in the kitchen, because I enjoy cooking. It's my personal, happy place. And even though I've had to make these big changes, I still enjoy cooking. And so I am creating recipes that I can eat and he can eat and we can share together. And one of the things he talked very fondly about and I raised my eyebrow, because when I initially tasted it, it was like, really? Was an artichoke. He remembers it quite fondly from his childhood and eating them and dipping them in mayo, and he absolutely adores them. It was not something I was familiar with. It wasn't something we cooked at home as a child. It wasn't something we consumed at home. I understood what it vaguely looked like, almost like an unripe protea, which is the official South African flower. It was like waiting to blossom. But I was willing to try it. We prepared the artichoke together the way he remembers it being done as a child, and we got a little steaming device and we placed the artichoke in the device and we put a little bit of water at the bottom of the pan and allowed it to steam until tender. We then pull the leaves off the base and you dip it in some mayo, and then you scrape the bottom part of the leaf with the mayo and consume. But it really, I don't know what I was expecting, but what I tasted was not what I was expecting. I was expecting mouths full of joy, and what I got was mayonnaise. It was like a strange, weird delivery mechanism for mayonnaise. The flavor of the pieces of artichoke that you managed to scrape off with your teeth tasted almost like grassy. It was strange, and I couldn't understand why he absolutely loved this thing. And I got to researching and found multiple methods to cook it, and I put this one together, and it, in my opinion, is amazing. You don't even need the extra mayo. It is that delicious. So here it goes. This is how I make my artichokes for dinner. It is from the thistle family, and it's little flower buds. Each leaf is like a little flower bud from my research, and the little leaves are called bracts, if I'm pronouncing it correctly. To begin with, you need to cut the stem off the artichoke just like this. Essentially what you're doing is creating a seat for the artichoke, and you're going to pull some of the bottom thicker leaves off, and another one as close to the base as you can get. The next thing you are going to do is turn the artichoke on its side and hold it firmly and cut off the tip, which allows you to open up the artichoke carefully for spicing and rinsing. You want to be very gentle about this because on the little edges of the leaves are little spikes that will prick you. You take your artichoke that's been de-stemmed and the tip cut off, and you place it under some running water, and you allow the water to fill the crevices between the leaves, essentially rinsing it. And then you turn it over, and you do that a couple of times. And once this is done, you are ready to spice. And just like magic, we have 2 artichokes that are ready for spicing and baking. Rinsed, you can see some of the water draining out. Let's get to it. Now we spice. So move that out of the way. You can see the water that's drained out. I'm just going to place my oil on my cutting board. Place my artichoke in the center. Pink Himalayan salt. Black pepper, minced garlic, and coconut oil. And the first thing you're going to do is take a generous amount of salt, and you just sprinkle it in the leaves, or into. Next thing is pepper. Generously is the name of the game here. And 1 tablespoon of garlic per artichoke. And you literally are separating the leaves as much as possible to get the salt, pepper, and garlic and they're going flying into the crevices. Okay. Here, you take a tablespoon of coconut oil, and you do the same thing. You're literally making spaces with your fingers to allow the spices and the oil to sink to the bottom. It will sink during the cooking process in the oven, but you want to give it a fighting chance at the beginning. And that is what your marinated or spiced artichoke will look like. We're going to bring the foil up around the artichoke and create a ball, sealing the artichoke in for the baking process. Tender and delicious.